We're State. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina, and I am fairly certain that I am going through perimenopause. I have now had several months of interesting new symptoms around the whole monthly time, and this latest one is irrational, deep rage all this week. I have never felt anger like this before in my life. I started making like lists of things I don't like about everything and everyone.
I fucking love that.
I'm so excited.
That's insane. That's great.
Everything is an op right now. Like it's so... I didn't sleep for like 3 days. I would feel like I was on the verge of sleep, but my mind would be running through all of these things that were irritating me nonstop. Like, it was so nuts. And then I was like, got this weird shoulder thing and really, really itchy skin. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with me? Like,
Girl,
what
the
is
fucking
happening?
itchy skin. The itchy skin. Fuck me. And when you're trying to sleep, it's never any other time.
Yes.
It's never any other time. But I'll tell you, if you can fall asleep to a TV being on, I know this sounds stupid, but it does help. Or like music or sound. I know it's weird, but it like stimulates your brain enough to like, I don't know.
Let it go.
To release that for some reason. The other thing is go slather your skin with lotion has helped.
Yeah.
I know it sounds really stupid. That has helped. But I've also heard like magnesium and stuff. So like there's other things you can do. But the itchy skin, it's the restless legs. Fuck my life. That I can't stop moving my legs. That's been.
Have you gotten frozen shoulder yet? Where you like can't lift your arm? Oh my God.
Slept weird. I've done a few I slept weirds, but not that one. Ear itching. Have you had that one yet?
No, I haven't had itchy ears.
Yeah, that's fun.
Keegan's looks like terrified.
Yeah.
This is why when you were talking about this off mic, I was like, hold it. Like, we should talk about this on mic, because I don't feel like people talk about perimenopause enough, and I'm not prepared. What are you talking about? Itchy ears?
Yeah.
Itchy ears?
Yeah. Didn't even know it was a thing. I did not know it was a thing.
Itchy ears, irrational rage, itchy skin in general, electric or itchy ears, because I've heard people get electric like shocks.
Like zappies?
Zappies.
Like the zaps. Irrational, deep rage. Like this is, I literally unlocked a new feeling against myself. Listen, Sunday, so we like never fucking leave our house and leave our dogs alone. Okay. Right. We're very much homebodies, but once every couple of weeks, we want to get out, go have a nice lunch, pick up some groceries, that kind of thing. So the dogs are alone for like 3 hours. My fucking old neighbor leaves the craziest voice message on my husband's phone, threatening to call animal control on us and threatening to call the sheriff. So we rush home, and I'm like, we're going to talk.
Because the dogs were barking?
I guess the dogs were barking. This was during the middle of the day. So we get home, and I'm like,
he's going through menopause too.
Yeah, we're going to talk to this guy, because we've never once complained when he's like screaming his shitty grunge music that no one wants to hear anymore, especially from him. Like, we don't noise complaint him.
Have I met this neighbor?
Yes, you have. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's that weird old dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't want to talk to us. He's like, it's done. I've already filed the complaints and everything like that. I lost my shit in a way. I screamed out the window. I'm like, get out of your house, you fucking coward. You better get your fucking ass down here and talk to me. I literally lost my, like, screaming out the door. Eric's like, baby, stop. Like, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, motherfucker.
Oh, Christina.
It was shit. I'm like, you threatened to like do something to my dogs, like trying to get my dogs taken away. And so then I'm like, finally like calmed down. I go and talk to all of the neighbors around us, and our neighbors are like, no, your dogs are absolutely fine. Like, this guy is a crazy person. Like, don't listen to him. I post this long diatribe on the Fraser Mountain Park like bulletin board, like just basically like the whole situation. People are like, yeah, he can't do shit. Like, don't listen to him. Like, you left your dogs bark. They bark outside. It's not constant. It's not in the middle of the night. I live in the mountains.
It's like if you it would be a different situation if you were like living in an apartment or something that's like closed quarters and dogs are barking for hours and hours and hours. Still, I wouldn't call any, I'm not.
Yeah.
Those
Especially
are
during
your
the
babies.
daytime. Like,
yeah.
put some headphones and fucking chill, bro.
In the mountains.
Yes.
Like what do people expect? People have animals.
Yeah.
People have dogs. Like,
but
relax.
That started this whole week of literally just like just rage. Yeah. Everyone at work.
It broke something open for you.
Broke something open, and it was like Dark Phoenix or something. I was like,
no.
Have you engaged with this neighbor?
No, he has been silent ever since.
He was like, I wasn't expecting that. He's wasn't expecting that.
Shit, this bitch gonna kill me. God
you
damn.
can't fuck with people's animals. That's the thing. Is
totally.
Because like my Matilda is that is my daughter. That is my literal child.
You're basically threatening to get, and then I heard one of my other neighbors
call
was
CPS
like, hey,
on my kids.
Be fair. Exactly. Right. I was like, no, we're not playing that. And then to not even, because we were like, well, let's have a conversation with him. Like, maybe we can lock the dogs inside.
You were ready
while
to
we're
be
gone.
rational.
I was ready for a rational conversation. And then you're going to be a little bitch about it. Like,
I can totally relate to Eric in this situation though, where you're like, no.
Oh no.
Baby, stop.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, you can't threaten his life. Stop.
I feel like this was me like 4 or 5 years ago, when we would have pretty normal conversations as a group. My immediate response was to break down, cry, because that's how anger comes out of me. So I don't have this like fiery rage of fire. I have this like, you don't believe me. You don't.
I need to see what my Mars is in. I'm going to see right now what my Mars is in, because I was like, I've never like screamed, and I was screaming, you guys. Like it was bananas, and I'm like, what is my Mars in?
I believe your Mars is in menopause is what.
Truly.
I'm gonna be a crier. I know that for sure. Like, because that's before I got on Lexapro. In the days leading up to my period, I would be like, why am I weeping? Why am I weeping over something ridiculous? Like something completely stupid. Like the smallest thing would set me off. You know what I mean? And I'd be like, what is going on? And then like 3 days later, my period would start. I'd be like, oh.
There she is.
No. I've traded my tears for
rage.
These fucking hands, you know? My Mars is in Libra.
Oh.
Interesting.
She could go either way.
Well, justice oriented. You were so angry at the injustice of that situation. That's really what was happening there, because it truly
injustice.
And I have to say, because I know that your neighbor doesn't listen to this podcast, or I actually don't know that. I don't care.
Yeah.
But when I was at your house that time, I did get weird vibes from him. He sat right next to me on the couch, right next to me, and talked to me close. He's a closer talker.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like a close talker. And I was just like, what's your deal? Because he's considerably older than me.
Yeah,
he's quite a bit. And I did get the feeling that he thought he could get it if he wanted it.
He
and I was like, absolutely not.
You couldn't. You sure couldn't.
No universe is that possible. I know like every single thing is supposed to be possible in a the infinite universe theory.
No,
but
bro. Because he was talking to me about his band as if it was like super cool. And I could not have been less interested.
Yeah.
So screw that guy.
You're like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Woof.
So yeah, I truly, I don't know what to do, but perimenopause, like my TikTok FYP feed knows me very intimately. So I've been seeing a lot of things and picking up like all these symptoms. I'm like, we just really need to get it out more, because I thought that you just enter menopause sometime in your 50s. You got about 5 or 6 years of dealing with shit like hot flashes, and then you're done.
And that's the perimenopause shit. That's just that part.
We do need to talk about this, I think, because, everybody, there comes a point when you are an adult, whenever you have, parents, and you're like, my mom's just starting to lose her mind. Like, I guess older people, like older women just start to lose their mind. I guess that's what's happening. It's like, oh no, she was going through hormonal shifts that nobody talks about because she wasn't in menopause. You know what I mean? Right. And that's the only thing that people talk about is going through menopause. But there is perimenopause, and for some women, it can start in their 30s. So like... it is something that I think we need to talk about. So I thank you, Cassie, because we are now getting perimenopausal TikToks on
You're welcome.
on the TikTok account that we share, so that I can get an education before it really starts to hit.
There you go. There you go.
So I can know what to expect.
Our TikTok is so fucking unhinged.
It's unhinged.
I love it.
It's truly unhinged because
amazing.
It is just like half reality show content, Trump news, weird, like, and then perimenopausal.
Perimenopause,
if you're a listener and you're going through it, hell, if we have any older listeners who have come through the other side, please write in anything that helped. Yeah, tell us, because from what I hear, once you get on the other side, it is the greatest. It is the best time of your life when you're finally done. When everything settles, when the dust settles, and it's like, all right, we'll leave you alone.
Happens.
I need to know what the other side looks like, because I don't want to muscle this out for 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, and not know that the other side is glorious.
I know that Cassie looked into this and it wasn't an option for her, but you can look into hormone replacement therapy.
Yes.
Christina, and that will help to like level your hormones out.
I've heard it's magic. I wish I could.
Yeah, I might look into it, because I definitely felt this week with the insomnia and the rage and stuff. I had to take Thursday off, because that was after 3 days of not sleeping. And I was like, I literally, my brain fog was through the roof. I couldn't make words or sentences happen. And I was tired and so angry. I took the day off. Yeah. So.
You know it's bad when a Capricorn takes a day off.
I know. And I had shit to do. Yeah. So you can't be taking off a day in a 4-day work week. Yeah. Unbelievable. So for FMK this week, I truly think we need to do older women. Okay. Older women who have come through the other side.
Yeah.
And who are magical and glorious and lovely and beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to think through. We've got so many
Julie
icons.
Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, or like a Jane Fonda.
Even older. Okay. Or what's her name from Four Seasons?
Oh, Parker Posey? Is that who you're talking about?
No, that's White Lotus. Tina Fey?
Tina Fey.
But do you think they're through it yet?
I don't think they're through it. I think they're in it.
And you know what? I want somebody who's in it, like going through the shit
because I'm thinking like a Meryl Streep.
You're thinking like the past. They passed.
Yeah, like they've come out the other side. Okay. I would say Martha Stewart, but we've done her a few times already, so we can't do Martha. But she gives unbothered, made it through, don't care anymore. You know?
Yeah. I think Patricia Arquette is probably still. I think Gen X is still in it.
Yeah.
But like
you know what I mean?
Like a Jean Smart.
Oh,
I love her.
Right?
Yeah.
I love Jean Smart. Yes, definitely Jean Smart is on the
love
list.
her.
I definitely
Kathy
think
Sagal.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
Katey
Or Katey
Sagal.
Sagal. Katie's.
Yeah. Yes.
Sagal.
Yes.
Is it Sagal or Seagull?
I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
everyone
Seagull.
knows what we're
Seagull.
talking
Oh, yeah.
about.
Katey Sagal.
Yeah. She was
Yeah,
in
it sounds right.
Married with Children and Sons
Yes.
of Anarchy.
Also, I've heard, because everybody talks about how amazing Ed O'Neill is, but like I've heard that the two of them specifically were some of the best people to work with in Hollywood and were the absolutely most amazing people. And I'm like, I can't hear that enough. I'm so glad.
I love
And
that.
Somebody posted, who knew that the dad that we all wanted was Bill Cosby and the one we should have wanted was Al Bundy.
Yep. Al Bundy.
Oh.
I know who I'm going to pick.
Okay.
Helen Mirren.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay.
All right.
Jean Smart.
Still
Katey
hot.
Seagal, Helen Mirren. Have you seen previews of the new show on Netflix that she's going to be in, the Thursday Murder Club?
Oh, I read those
yes.
books.
Yeah,
those books are so cute. Like if you want a cozy mystery,
I read the
I
first
would
one.
highly recommend
good.
listening to those books.
Yeah,
They're
listen.
so
Yeah.
I mean, read them if you want to, but the audiobooks are actually really, really good.
Yeah.
And it is just like an adorable group of older people who live in a retirement community who solve murders.
I love
it's
this.
wonderful.
It's like her and Pierce Brosnan.
Oh,
I read it and I
cannot
literally
wait.
was like, I can see this playing out as a movie as I'm reading it. Like it was so fucking good.
And are they doing it as a series? I hope they're doing it as a series because
I think it's a series.
Okay,
yeah,
good,
on
good.
Netflix.
Oh, I cannot wait. I will watch the shit out of
in.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in.
Okay. Helen Mirren. Katey Seagal.
This is actually really
And Jean
hard.
Smart.
This might be one of the hardest that we've done because I have so much
I know what I'm gonna
love.
Yeah, I've got a lot of admiration for all of these women. You can't go wrong, really.
No, you really can't, which is why we're friending.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna marry Jean Smart because I really like her wit. She seems very level-headed, but also has that kind of dry wit where it's like you would have so many inside jokes and your life would be so exclusively an inside joke. You know what I mean? Like there's just a real pleasure to her. I'm going to fuck Katey Seagal because goddamn.
Yeah.
She's
fuck?
gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Helen Mirren, I'm going to friend.
Okay.
She feels a little too intense to marry. That's the only, and maybe it's the British thing, but I like, again, you can't like go wrong with any of these. Truly.
No, you can't.
I've seen Jean Smart, and Thomas can bleep this out because I think she lives in.
Okay.
But I've seen her a few times at some restaurants around there, and she is just so chill.
She seems
looking
chill.
like she just seems so chill. She just gets her table like in the corner and just hangs out with her laptop. Just
Cute.
so easy peasy. Yeah. She's lovely.
I love that. I think I know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna marry Katey Seagal.
Okay. I could see this.
Yeah, I think we would get into some trouble.
Oh yeah.
So, I could see us like
I need
dressing
signs.
someone down. Yeah, I need to as well. But yeah, I think there's just there's something like snappy and feisty about her that I really, really
but also
like.
very caring at the same time, right?
Also extremely, calm and nurturing and warm and lovely. So I'm going to marry Katey Seagal. I'm going to fuck Jean Smart.
Is it Kate?
Because
I think it's Kate now that I'm saying it. Oh no, it's Katey with a
it's
EY.
Katey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jean Smart, I think, would be a little bossy in bed, which I like. I think she's a take charge in the boudoir kind of lady, and there's like a real, I don't know, sexual magnetism about her that I pick up. So I'm going there. And then I think Helen Mirren would be a great friend to have. Should host dinner parties and
yes.
Just
totally. Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. I'm going to marry Jean Smart. I just think her energy, I do think she's really funny. I do think she has that like dry wit thing going on. I do think she's got her shit together and she doesn't take herself, too seriously, even though she's this incredibly talented, amazing woman. So I'm going to marry her. I'm going to fuck Helen Mirren.
Okay.
I've seen those young pictures of Helen Mirren, and to this day, still freaking stunning. Like
totally
gorgeous. You know who else we could have done is Susan Sarandon.
Yeah. Love her.
Gorge. You know what I mean? So the reason that came to mind is because both these women still got their titties out. I love it.
Yes.
When they go to award shows, gorgeous. So yeah, I'm gonna fuck Helen Mirren. I think she's good in bed. I get a vibe.
Get a vibe. Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah. And then I am going to friend Katey Sagal. I feel like we are going to have so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
Like that is going to be a blast of a relationship. She's a little snippy. I did look up their zodiac signs.
I just did too.
Oh yeah. Jean Smart's a Virgo.
Yep.
Katey Sagal is a Capricorn. And Helen Mirren's a Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them are actually, funny enough, well,
Cusper,
like Helen and I guess Jean's kind of not. She's kind of still pretty in it. But Katey Sagal is like the 19th of January. So the virtual edge.
Yeah. So I just think that that's going to be so much fun. I feel like Katey Sagal is down to like go on a last minute road trip with you up the coast or something,
Completely.
Definitely. I want to go on a wine tasting.
I want to go on a wine tasting with all three of these women. Can you imagine when you're like 5 wines deep?
Oh my God.
The way things are going to break open.
I just think I definitely think that aging is a gift. So as much as I'm bitching about perimenopause symptoms and trying to deal with it, like I think getting to the other side and getting to be like an older woman would be such a gift. And I'm so looking forward to it. I really am. I
honestly
want to be a witch.
Yeah. Honestly, that's where we need to put our perimenopause rage is into witchcraft. But
agree.
I think that this is the thing. I think as much as all three of us are very exhausted, and we say this a lot, and I think that we're all fucking power women. We're ballers. We fucking bust our ass. We're living our best lives, living day to day, doing the work. And I think it's, and we were like, it's hard to do this podcast all the time. It's not fucking easy. And there's days where it's like, fuck, like, oh God, I got to give up a Saturday or whatever. Like it is tough. It's tough. You guys are up at the crack of dawn. I'm here in the, heading into nighttime, and it's tough sometimes, but I'll tell you this, for this perimenopausal bitch, I need it. I feel like I need it. It reminds me that like as soon as the cameras come on, as soon as I see you guys, I'm like, that's right. That's right. There's my bitches. And I always leave feeling refreshed. I leave feeling like I got like my spirit cleansed. Like I'm ready again to like tackle the world. I
think it's a good reminder, and it is still, I think, at the heart of our podcast is the encouragement of the strength of groups of women.
Yeah.
And what we're able to accomplish together and how we make it through and survive together. And so this is something that, I admire about like seeing older women and having friendships and that kind of thing. Like, I think it's the one thing in your life really worth putting yourself out and investing into is that your female friendships are going to be the things that get you through, like absolutely. I can talk about perimenopause with Eric, and he's very understanding, but he doesn't understand. You know what I mean?
And he's not gonna be able to laugh about it with you. You know, like we can kind of joke about it a bit. I mean, there is some, but it's like it's just, you know, you need girlfriends.
Yeah.
The way that women relate to each other is, and I think a lot of it was born of trauma, born of the way that we're socialized in so many ways. But the way that women are with each other is the reason why, even though we have to go through all the shit that we have to go through in society, and then on top of that, periods and endometriosis and perimenopause and menopause and all of the things that women have to go through in our bodies. It's why I would still choose to come back as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I had the choice, I would still come back as a woman, because I think what we have in terms of the way that we relate to each other is so special. And when I see men and male friendships, I feel sorry for them in a way that they don't have this. It's not that they can't, it's that they've been societally conditioned not to relate to each other in this same way.
Patriarchy hurts men too.
Yes,
and that's why female friendship, I think, is revolutionary. Like it is subversive. So, you know, there's power in us getting together and talking about what we're going through.
That's why when they have too many women together, they call us a coven and try to burn us at the stake.
They're scared.
They can't handle it.
True. Oh my God, yes. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Sounds good.
Cool.
And we're back. Okay, Christina, kick us off with some stories.
I will kick this off. This story, she says, this was pre-internet. I had placed an ad in the back of the Advocate. At the time, the California was split into North and South. I lived in a small mining town in the mountains in the northern part of the state.
Is this story from like 1800s? What?
You're right. I know. They're going to start writing, dearest
Clementine. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When I called her in response to her reply, I asked where she lived. Instead of telling me the name of a city or town, she told me the intersection of 2 streets. That should have been my first clue that we didn't communicate well. California's a big fucking state, you know. I live at Maine and Columbus. Like what?
But where? In Sacramento, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles. We have a
fucking Fresno.
Anything.
What?
Yeah,
anything. I kept talking to her on the phone for a few weeks until my long distance bill was getting too high. We liked.
What is
this? So long ago.
What a time.
This had to have been like the 80s.
Truly.
This is so long ago.
We liked many of the same things, so I invited her to dinner and told her the names of a few hotels in that area because I was a mother and didn't let strangers stay the night in my house. We decided to have dinner at my house, and I spent a good part of the day cooking a nice meal and had wines chosen to go with the food. She shows up with a 24-pack of Bud and has opened it and drinking heavily when I opened the door.
Oh my God. You cracked into it already?
I remember thinking to myself, this is the ugliest woman I've ever seen, but not about the way she looked, more her vibe and her aura of how she seemed as a person.
Oh my God.
No.
Is this like fucking Eileen Warnos? Like, what is happening?
The night was rather uneventful and boring. She asked to spend the night on my couch, and when I said no, she stormed into the kitchen and took the rest of the beer with her.
Okay.
Right.
You brought it. So
my only defense of me seeing her again is that I was in my early 20s in a small town and lonely. It took a few months before she had called all of my friends and my babysitter asking for money, saying I didn't have enough money to feed my child but was too embarrassed to ask for help. I found out when my babysitter asked for the money back. When I told her to get the hell out of my life, she stole the skirts to all of my suits that I wore to work.
Oh my God. I mean, listen,
diabolical.
Truly.
She's like, no more matching sets for you, bitch.
Yeah. Definitely the 80s.
Oh, short
power
skirt
suits
and a long jacket.
I dated my next girlfriend for 9 months before introducing her to any of my friends. It was over a year before we moved in together.
Wow. Oh, boy. Well, I love that we just talked about how wonderful women are, and I'm about to tell another story.
Oh, man.
Listen, balance.
Balance. You know, we contain multitudes. Okay. Got set up on a blind date by some friends. The date was early September, and we met in a restaurant in the city. It was a nice place, the kind where the waitstaff wear dress shirts, ties, etc. I was in a nice suit and tie. She showed up in jeans, flip-flops, and a hoodie.
Nice.
Flip-flops, my God.
Flip-flops. I don't even know the last time I wore a flip-flop.
To go get my nails, my pedicure.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I jokingly said something along the lines of, I'm assuming they didn't tell you this place was sort of snooty. She goes, they did. I didn't give a fuck.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Okay. Coming in hot. All right.
I ain't shaving my legs and putting on some fancy dress for a guy who I don't even know if I want to touch his dick, let alone if I'm willing to let him between my legs.
Well, this is queen now.
Whoa. Queen? Who is this diva? I just stared at her.
Is I bothering you?
I just stared at her in disbelief. Then she said, I mean, you seem nice and all, but I ain't in the mood to do all that work when I can just go home and do it myself. I mean... I asked her to keep her voice down, and she goes, why do you want me to keep my voice down? You afraid people will hear me talking about going home and fucking myself with my vibrator instead of letting you come back and fuck me?
Love her.
Queen. Sorry.
I love her.
I love her.
I just stood up,
unhinged.
walked over to the waiter, paid for my drink I had while I was waiting, apologized to them for her outbursts, and said, blind date, I'm not sticking around, and left. I did hear from our mutual friends that she later got married to some guy, stabbed him on their anniversary a few years later, and is now in jail for attempted murder.
Damn.
They were like, yeah, we always knew she was kind of crazy. Why did you set me up then?
Set me up with... What is wrong with people? Honestly, just because you have two single friends does not mean that you should set them up.
No, stop it.
Oh.
I love her.
Amazing.
Fucking
oh my God.
Insane. All right. So mine kind of is a bit of a wayback machine as well. I met this girl on Myspace.
Oh, yep.
And we somehow ended up deciding to meet at a bar because our group of friends were going. So I get to the bar and meet her, and it turns out that a couple of my friends already know her and her friends. So it was like a reunion for them. Lots of drinks and a lot of fun we had. Towards the end of the night, we're making out in the booth off to the side of the bar. It's going great. I'm stoked. She's stoked. Good times. She stops, looks at me and asks, are you a virgin? I was not expecting that question. I was super confused and thinking, is my kissing really that bad?
Oh, no.
I managed to
that would be such a hit to the ego if you're in the middle of making out and they pull away and they're like, are you a virgin? How dare you?
Oh, my God.
To stammer out a no. Why? She says, oh, okay. Well, I just thought maybe you were because your friends are super excited for you. It points out to the side to my friends. I look at them and they're basically jumping around.
Stop.
Hooting, hollering, clapping, cheering for me, shouting my name. Wahoo,
friends are so embarrassing. That's amazing.
That is cringe. Oh,
it
my
is
God.
so fucking funny. Pretty sure I just waved at them to go away. Then we made out some more.
Go away. You're ruining this for me.
Sure.
You're killing the vibes. Are you a virgin?
Oh my God.
Your friends are like really excited for you.
That
is awful. Okay. All right. My other one is this guy I was somewhat interested in asked me if I was free for Friday night. I said, no, it's still $100 a night. Joking. He said he picked me up at 7. I got all dolled up for the date and was ready on time for once, but he doesn't show up until 9, 2 hours late.
We're not going on a date. If you're over an hour late to pick me up with no communication, then we're not going on a date. If you text me and you're like, oh, there's really bad traffic on the 405,
sure.
There's an accident, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, we can be flexible about this. But 2 hours, no communication, I'm back in my jams.
Yeah. I've got like
I've washed my face.
15-minute window without communication of being late. That's it. Like, I don't have any fucking
not
room.
In this day and age.
No.
We're not in the 1800s in a mountain town in the middle of California.
That's right.
You're not having to send a pigeon to communicate with you.
So he's 2 hours late. He texts me, "Here, cutie," without a reason, excuse, or anything. Just blows over
that would send me into a perimenopausal irrational rage right there. Hey, cutie.
Hey, cutie.
Excuse me? No.
What? Just blows over the fact that he's 2 hours late. I think, all right, shit happens, and come outside anyways. This man, in quotes, is riding shotgun in his mom's car with his whole mom sitting there driving him. He is 25. I'm 22. I wanted to turn around and go back inside my house.
No scrubs. Scrubs. We can't have you sitting in the passenger side of your mama's ride. No.
Trying to holla at me.
No. Hey, cutie.
No. I wanted to go back inside my house, but I'm very anti-conflict, and now they know where I live. So I got in the car with this guy and his mom, and she dropped us off at dinner at this nice-ish restaurant around here. After that, everything was terrible, but as expected at that point.
After that, everything was terrible is the best sentence.
Yeah.
Everything was terrible. As expected, too. She's like, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
No, it truly would have been better if she'd walked out, seen them, turned right back around, locked the door, put the chain on.
DoorDash some food.
Get some Chipotle.
Yeah. He was rude to waiters, talked too loud, and while eating, had too many drinks, got handsy with me under the table, even though I made it clear I didn't want that, then had the audacity to ask me to pay for both of us.
You gotta be fucking, you got me fucked up.
Go ask your mommy.
Yeah.
She's still here?
Never have had so much secondhand embarrassment in my life. That's the right move.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm embarrassed for you.
Yeah, this is embarrassing.
Not
for you.
Not exactly. Not me.
Not for me.
You. I'm embarrassed for you, sir.
How do people not have shame? That's the question that comes up over and over again on this podcast, where I did not know that so many people were walking this earth with no shame at all.
None.
I got an overabundance. I was overserved.
Too much.
No, I told you guys, or I teased it out. I think, Cassie, you've heard of this, but a Delta flight was several hours delayed on the tarmac, and a flight attendant gave a preteen girl the microphone, and she sang Moana songs for 45 fucking minutes over the intercom. At people sitting on a plane in a tarmac. It's a hostage situation.
I have so many questions. Why was she given the microphone? Who made that call?
A flight attendant.
But the other flight attendants weren't like, girl, I don't want to hear this either.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? And then the other thing is too, so if you're watching TV or something and your headphones are plugged in, that stops your fucking movie.
Yep.
Because the announcement's on, and now you got this bitch in your ear singing.
No.
Yeah.
And okay, I want to for the record say, I'm not blaming the girl. She's a child.
Right.
Yeah. I'm blaming the parents for sure.
I'm blaming the flight attendant too. Like this is a lot of people failed this girl.
Yeah, they set her up
in
for
this moment.
Yeah, because
that girl is going to be 30 someday, and she's going to have to live in her bones knowing that she sang Moana songs to a hostage Delta flight.
Right. Because at the time, she could probably have convinced herself that like she's a star, you know?
Yeah.
But when you get older and you reflect on that experience and you've had annoying plane experiences, you're going to be like, oh my God. That's something that would shudder me awake.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No question.
That's why I commented. I'm like, this is going to be a shame receipt for her.
Yes.
Yeah, when she's older. And then Cassie was like, hey, that sounds like...
Hey. That's very, very my worst date coded. And it was.
And it was. It was me.
Oh, man.
Well, this story feels Cassie coded to me. It's a short one.
Okay.
In my early 20s, I dated a guy for a few months before deciding to bring him to meet my dad. It was actually my now ex-boyfriend's idea, and we met at a restaurant. After the initial hellos, my dad asked him what his relationship is like with his mom. He looks at me with a smirk, looks back at my dad, and without skipping a beat says, well, you could say I was one of the many men inside of her. My dad and I just looked at each other in horror and were frankly just shocked. Now I look back on it and find it funny and thought I should share. Still can't believe he said that so confidently.
Oh my God.
Well, you could say.
It took me I had to skip. I was like, wait, what? Oh.
And he thought he ate. Like he looked at her and was like, this is going to be good. You know this is going to be so funny.
I'm going to make your dad laugh. And then your dad's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yikes. On bike.
Oh
wow.
Oh,
wow. Oh God. Okay. I was the weird date. It says, sorry, man. Just a random Tinder date. We met up at some random Asian fusion restaurant, and I could tell he was a bit intimidated because I'm like a hair taller than he is. I'm a very petite girl and he is short but muscular guy, and I also like to keep a switchblade in my belt.
Okay.
Scary area, she says. But he's literally a jiu-jitsu instructor and in the service, so I thought he wouldn't mind. Well, we are talking for about maybe 5 minutes, and I notice he's not even looking at me. He's looking just behind my head. My back is against the wall, and so I think he's nervous and just brush it off since he said he hasn't been on many dates. Neither have I. We make decent conversation, and for the next half hour, all while he stares at the wall behind me. Come to find out, he doesn't like any form of music, and if he has to listen, he listens to classical music. On top of that, he was just genuinely awkward despite being incredibly intelligent, and I could tell he was trying to come up with something cool to talk about. So me being me, I gave him an ethical dilemma.
Oh my God.
No, you're on a date.
Oh, honey.
Choosing between blowing up a pregnant woman with a stick of dynamite or letting a group of elderly people drown in order to save the pregnant.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I would break out in hives. I think I would break out in hives if I was on a date with someone and they asked me this.
Would you rather?
I can't even make eye contact with you. And
why would you
want
do
me to
this
ask
to
me
him?
this question? We sat and chatted for a couple minutes after, and when we paid and left, I'm stubborn and decided to pay. He walked me to my car and didn't even give me a hug or anything. I never heard from him again.
You've put me through enough.
I scared you, dude.
You've put me through enough. I can't. Wow.
My goodness.
My God.
That is not an I say leave the philosophy like that. It's philosophical, like the trolley problem doesn't belong on the first date.
It's like, oh, you're being awkward, so let's come up with something to talk about. How about this insane trauma?
Blowing
up a
pregnant.
What?
Or letting a group of elderly people drown in order to save the pregnant woman.
No.
What? Why? Neither.
None. And check, please. I'm out.
Why
are you putting me in this position?
Oh my God. Well, I do have a weird, like, I don't know, good thing. What are we watching? Way to end this podcast.
Yeah.
So
okay, and tell me it's not Nathan for you, but what's
the rehearsal?
The rehearsal.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know the spoil. I know what happens.
Okay.
Because we listened to Daily Zeitgeist and they told us.
Spoiler alert if you have not seen the finale. This season, Nathan Fielder decided that the biggest issue in aviation safety is the fact that pilots are too uncomfortable to talk to each other. And so that's the crux of the season. But underneath it is actually a deeper issue in that they will not report if they are having mental health issues because they could lose their license and then their jobs. So the season finale of the rehearsal is one of the most tense things I have ever watched in my life, in that Nathan Fielder flew a 737 Boeing jet, took it off and landed it with people on board. Like
Absolutely
the whole
not.
thing. Yes.
No.
Yes. He found a loophole where as long as people weren't paying, if they were just actors, so he set up a fake Boeing, like a real plane with fake passengers, the whole 9 yards, completely full plane. He's now the person with the least amount of flight training that has ever flown a Boeing 737.
Who volunteered to be on that plane?
Couldn't be me.
Who?
Because you had to have volunteered to do it, right? Because
he asked everybody. He's like, and by the way, I'm going to be flying. And they're
also a Boeing plane?
Yes, a big ass 737.
No. We have enough issues with those as is. Just
sir.
wheels falling off and shit. No, I'm not.
It was, first of all, the thing I thought was who at HBO had to deal with insurance.
Oh my God.
The insurance for that.
I was actually just thinking this recently that I would not want to work because I work with legal in entertainment for my job. And I'm like, I would not want that job. I don't want to work in the legal department for entertainment, period.
Yeah.
That job, how fucking stressful
Yeah.
to work on the rehearsal in the legal department. You know?
So, I knew, like, even watching it, I'm like, well, we definitely would have heard if Nathan Fielder had crashed
Died
and
in a
killed
fiery crash.
like 100 and some actors in the desert. You know, like that would have been a news story.
That's how hard up actors are, that they're like, okay. But they couldn't have gotten paid, is what you're saying.
But it was also...
Or they couldn't pay. They couldn't pay. Okay.
Yeah. It was so thought out. This season was so incredible. Anybody that has watched it, it was just jaw open the whole time because you're like, this is the craziest shit on television I've ever seen. Every episode was like that. And then to have it finally like land the plane metaphorically and literally is one of the greatest things I've seen on television ever. I truly think he's a comedic genius. He's a genius. So I can't recommend it enough. Even if you already know through spoilers, etc., like what is going to happen, it really is an incredible feat of television. The fact that he spent 2 years training to become a pilot only to get this far. And I will also never be able to listen to Evanescence Bring Me to Life again without laughing hysterically.
My God.
Can't recommend it enough. So, yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I will give it a shot for you.
Specifically, like I said, episode 3 is such a standout. And I truly, if anyone happens to know Captain Sully, I need to know if he's seen it. I need to know.
Surely he has at this point. Surely.
Anyways, if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have a terrible date story, if you want to tell us what your perimenopausal symptoms are, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much. Cheers.